It was the kind of moment television was made for. Confetti falling, cheers echoing, and a dazzling smile from Jessica as she was crowned the winner of America's Got Talent Season 20. To millions watching at home, it looked like the culmination of a dream, a $1 million prize and the key to a brand new life. But behind that confetti, behind that number, lay a truth most fans never see. What many don't realize is that the $1 million prize, boldly advertised and dramatically announced, is more illusion than reality. While the cameras celebrate a financial windfall, the fine print quietly tells a different story. That $1 million, it's often split into payments across 40 years, or taken as a discounted lump sum that shrinks fast after taxes. By the time federal deductions and career expenses are paid, the winner rarely walks away with even half of the headline figure. It's not just about money, it's about expectations. For someone like Jessica, who has lived through the ups and downs of televised fame before, the show's real value lies elsewhere. In visibility, in leverage, in control. But this revelation wasn't new to her, because Jessica had been here before, years earlier. A different show, a different moment, and a heartbreak that nearly changed everything. Jessica's story didn't begin on the grand AGT stage. It started years earlier when she was just 11, a young girl with a powerhouse voice, standing under blinding lights, auditioning for America's Got Talent. She sang with the kind of raw emotion most adults couldn't even fake, but she didn't make it through. It wasn't a scandal, it wasn't sabotage. It was just silence, a quiet rejection that might have ended another child's dream, but Jessica didn't walk away defeated. Instead, she returned to something far more brutal, the long wait. And then at 16, she stepped onto the American Idol stage, older, wiser, and more prepared, but still emotionally vulnerable. Her voice stunned the judges. Her performances went viral. She quickly became a fan favorite. For weeks, it looked like she would win it all. But then came another twist, another loss. She came close, agonizingly close, but didn't take the title. And once again, Jessica vanished from the national spotlight. No cameras followed her afterward. No fanfare accompanied her departure. In the years after Idol, Jessica's voice never left her, but the platform did. With no label pushing her, no guaranteed tour dates, and no sustained media coverage, she entered a space many young stars fear: limbo. People remembered her name but didn't know what happened next. She performed at events, collaborated on tracks, and maintained a loyal, but the industry's interest had faded. The truth was clear. Televised fame had given her a moment, not a map. Behind the scenes, she faced decisions that most artists never anticipate, choosing between questionable deals or waiting for something real, balancing survival with artistic integrity, and wrestling with the unspoken reality that being almost famous sometimes hurts more than never being seen at all. Her dream wasn't over, but the spotlight had moved on. Until quietly something shifted, and Jessica began planning her return on her own terms. By the time Jessica stepped back into the world of televised talent shows, she was no longer the teenager America once rooted for. She was a woman, a soon-to-be mother, and an artist with nothing left to prove, but everything left to reclaim. Returning to America's Got Talent wasn't just another audition. It was a statement to herself, to the industry, to the audience that had almost forgotten. Her performances weren't just polished, they were vulnerable, emotional, and grounded in experience. The judges saw it. The crowd felt it. This wasn't just a comeback, it was an evolution. Week after week, she captivated the audience. But something deeper was happening behind the performances. Jessica was rewriting her story piece by piece. And when the moment of victory finally came, it wasn't just a win. It was a full-circle triumph, years in the making. But the story wasn't done, because now she had to face the reality behind the prize. Winning AGT sounds like a dream, but the dream comes with asterisks. For Jessica, that million-dollar check didn't exist the way fans imagined. Not as a giant payment, not as instant wealth. Winners of the show are presented with two options: a 40-year annuity, just $25,000 per year before taxes, or a lump sum, typically reduced to around $300,000. After taxes, possibly under $200,000. For someone already raising a family, planning an album, and managing a career, this wasn't life-changing money. It was seed money. Useful, yes, but not the grand prize that television suggested. And Jessica knew this. She'd been here before. Contracts, percentages, deductions, this wasn't new. She didn't celebrate the number. She celebrated the moment, because the prize had never been the money. It had always been something far harder to earn control over her voice, her story, her future. What most didn't see on stage was that Jessica's AGT win came during a deeply personal transformation. While competing and eventually winning, she was also pregnant with her first child. It wasn't just a new chapter professionally. It was a rebirth personally. Becoming a mother, especially in the midst of a competitive, high-stakes show, required focus few could imagine. But she carried both journeys with grace. After her win, she shared openly, "This was really my year. Not only did I win, but I was also pregnant and gave birth. I've been on cloud 9. Motherhood didn't pause her artistry, it deepened it. Suddenly, her voice had new meaning. Her performances weren't just technical, they were generational. She wasn't just singing for a stage, she was singing for a future. And as the world congratulated her, one unexpected invitation added another twist, an invitation not from Hollywood, but from the highest office in her motherland. In December 2025, just months after her AGT win, Jessica found herself not in Los Angeles or New York, but in the Philippines, standing inside the grand halls of Palace. She had been invited personally by President Ferdinand Marcos to perform at the ASEAN Summit in May 2026, representing Filipinos on a global stage. It wasn't just an honor, it was validation, recognition from the very roots of her identity. Jessica expressed her excitement with sincerity. "I'll be representing Filipinos, so I want to take my time choosing the right songs." For an artist long torn between two worlds, American stardom and Filipino pride, this moment was more meaningful than any trophy. But even more surprising was what she revealed next. She wasn't done yet. In fact, she was just getting started. Jessica didn't plan to ride her AGT win quietly. In that same press conference, she teased the future. A new album, set for release in early 2026, featuring not only English tracks, but also Tagalog songs and collaborations with Filipino artists. This wasn't a rebrand, it was a reconnection. After years of navigating American fame, she was now creating music that reflected both sides of her heritage. That dual identity, once a background note, was now center stage. It's a rare move. Most winners fade, some chase trends. Jessica chose something riskier, authenticity. But even with all this momentum, she knew better than most that fame doesn't guarantee forever. For millions, winning AGT would signal the end of a journey. For Jessica, it marked the beginning of a new one not shaped by shows, but by self-determination. She didn't view the win as a destination. She called it a platform, a moment to reintroduce herself, not as a contestant, but as a fully formed artist, mother, and voice for her culture. The headlines talked about her prize, but the real story was this. She had survived early rejection, learned from public loss, and waited patiently through industry silence. And when the world finally looked her way again, she didn't ask for validation. She came to take her seat at the table. So why didn't Jessica walk away with $1 million? Because no one ever truly does. The money is symbolic. What matters is what an artist builds with the visibility it buys. And Jessica, She used her win not to cash out, but to step up. She's now a voice that crosses generations, cultures, and continents. A name that once faded in silence is now echoing again, not because she played the game, but because she outlasted it. And in doing so, she reminded the world of a deeper truth. Sometimes the real win is finally being heard.